might as well just walk over since this next one is very close by. Let's speak with Yueon, which is a weird name. But we'll take on the quest entitled Rolling Byrons, Gather No Moss. Yueon is fretting over a runaway creation.
Excuse me, but have you a moment? I'm in search of a runaway creation. I need an extra set of hands to assist in its apprehension. I have been keeping such a close watch on the thing, and it had been so well behaved. I thought I could just rest my eyes for a second, and when I looked up though, poof! Gone, just like that. Please, won't you help me find it? I'll make it worth your while, I promise.
Alright.
Oh, thank you. I'll continue to search in this vicinity, though it's likely the creature scampered off farther afield. While I scour the area here, might you explore the eastern field of Rumination's Ramble? Oh yes, I should probably tell you about the creature we're looking for. We call it a Byron, a seakin that has a passing resemblance to a moss bloom. It will wither and perish without water, or become an overly grown monstrosity with too much. Keeping it hydrated is a delicate balancing act.
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it?
If the creature has fallen into the river, it will be, suffice it to say, too big to carry on one's own. Should you find it submerged in a body of water, try to move it with as much moisture as you can. That's how to shrink it somewhat. Use this drying agent on it to strain the sun's sop. If it begins to rave at you or act up in any way rampageous, subdue it and capture it with this etheric rope.
That's a lot to do on just one thing. Alright. What is this, League of Super Evil now? Turquoise, that's it! We can reduce this thing with a hug! Alright there, overgrown Byron. So let's start by drying you off. Yeah, now's where my Chocobo comes to say hello. Yeah, the Chocobo is pushing you aside there. Yeah, hit it. Yeah, you gotta hit this thing. It is fighting back after all. Alright, that should be sufficient. Oh, I guess I gotta get it to the point where it's almost dead. There we go. Yeah, I'm so used to the requirement being just get it past half health and then you can capture it. Or weaken it or whatever it is that you're doing. Go! But yeah, I'm not used to knocking things down to 1%. Alright, back over here.
Nothing in my neck of the woods, I'm sorry to report. Did you have any luck?
Indeed we have.
You found it, and just as I suspected, thrashing about in Rumination's Ramble. Naughty thing. So you had to subdue it, I take it. Goodness, it certainly put you through the mill. At least you do not seem too badly wounded, and nor does it. The Byron has the remarkable ability to predict precipitation and rainfall. If you see it shaking its leaves, you know the rain's on its way. It's why we created it in the first place, to provide those in the wetlands a method by which they might prepare for sudden storms. Unfortunately, as we have discovered, it becomes absolutely enormous when exposed to liquid in large quantities, rendering them rather dangerous in humid areas. Oh well, back to the drawing board. At any rate, thank you for locating this little rascal, or rather, large rascal as the case may be. I know not whose familiar you are, but you were a tremendous help. Here, for your pains.
Meanwhile, we'll take our experience in 655 gil. Oh! And that one, a new crest pops up. Well, we still gotta keep going around a horn, so let's do that. So let's speak with this eccentric creator to take on his quest entitled Take to the Skies! The eccentric creator has a request for Azim's Familiar.
You must be Azim's Familiar. I have had a favor to ask of the observers here, but seeing as they all seem awfully preoccupied, perhaps I can ask you instead. I'm experimenting with crossbreeding different types of plants. I was thrilled when I finally produced a whole new species, right up to the point where they rose up and floated away. Last I saw them, they were headed towards the eastern side of the island. I managed to wrangle a goodly number, but there's still 8 or so missing. Could you help me recapture them?
8?
Thank you. Here, use this stake rope to capture save for them, and then I can hopefully handle the rest.
Alright, 4 it is. Looks like they're bundled into 2 clusters. So let's go ahead and hit up cluster number 1. Oh my. Not only are you might as well be a mono-wife from Kid Icarus. I had to go through the whole song. I had to go through the whole song on these mono-eyes. But hey, at least I have the thumbnail for this episode. And so let's collect mono-eye number 4. Go! And back to the Ascension Crater, which now I can see is clearly an understatement.
Did you catch the plants?
Oh, we sure did.
Thank goodness for that, though. I'd expect no less Masums familiar. I landed on my half as well, which means they're all back safe and sound. They're part Adriants, you see. It's no surprise they inherited the eyes, but having them wander off on their own was rather unexpected. To tell the truth, I never really had a specific use in mind for them. I suppose I'd best start thinking about that. The Bureau of the Architect won't be impressed with my new creation unless it serves a purpose. With that in mind, I believe there's research to be done. Thank you for your help, and do pass on my regards towards them.
You're quite welcome. So we'll take our experience, 655 gil, and 2 portions of Skier, which is a heater food. Let's keep on going around the horn. Next up, we'll speak with this Combat Concept Observer, and take on his quest entitled Small Size Advantage. The Combat Concept Observer has a test to run. You are familiar, aren't you? Have you any prowess in battle? Oh, I do. Good, I could use your help at something. You see, I was asked to assess a one-eyed giant created as a facility guard and pitted against a lotus to test his fighting skills. Not only did the giant fall to a single blow, the lotus went into a frenzy and escaped. In my opinion, compact familiars like you are far more effective than these overly large brutes, and this is my chance to prove it. Do you think you could handle our runaway combatant? Fine, I'll help. Yeah, we seem reluctant either way. Of course, you'll be well rewarded for your efforts. Our experiment was conducted to the east, so that's as good a place as any to start looking for the lotus. Alright. Let's go. Yeah, so we'll follow the river. And make our way around here. Here it is. Along with the observer right there. There it is. It would seem the escaped lotus came back with its own accord. They usually feed off their foes to revitalize themselves, and I imagine it hungers after running amok like that. I'll take care of the situation here. The lotus is all yours. Alright then. Purple circle time. Yeah, I'm gonna show you what happens by giving you a little pruning. Everything you got. Yes, let's go full blown on offense here. Alright, here's the saber dance to finish you off. That was well done. You certainly make quick work of that lotus. I had a feeling I could count on you. As for the giant, it's far too heavy for us to move. I'll arrange for some broad back creations to haul it away after we return to Pointed Oikos. Alright, you get your fill of yogurt and I'll be right there. Yeah, make sure we don't get bashed overhead by a Minotaur. And we don't want that club to turn into a tennis racket. As I suspected, a smaller, more agile concept has far more facility for adapting to combat situations. Thank you for proving my theory. I'll be sure to keep your performance in mind the next time I design a familiar. Your reward as promised. And it's not just the experience in 815 gil, it's 2 portions of Alpis Dapnon, which is a tank food. Item level 560, no less. And it's crazy, we're seeing a lot of situations where we clear one quest and another takes its place. Are we gonna ever get to the end of the list here in Pointed Oikos? Let's find out as we keep on pushing forward by speaking with Meleagros and his quest entitled What's in a Name? Another one. Meleagros has a request for you. You're familiar, aren't you? Perfect timing. A pair of researchers are scheduled to arrive today from Amarot, and I need you to collect their concepts from them. We've completed assessments for the creations you see, and must make preparations to officially register the designs with the Bureau of the Architect. Please make sure to also ask for any provisional names they might have for their works. This I can do for you, and so we will. Alright, here's researcher number 1. And boy, don't you have something there. Can I help you? Yes, you can, man who looks like Hermes. Of course, you wish to collect my concept. It's this creature I have with me. It doesn't have a proper name as such. From what I hear, the observers have been calling it Notus 642, a nod to the island it resided on. Right, well, I'll trust you to put this in Meleagros' hands. Thank you. And now for the other guy. Or girl. Nope, it's a guy. With what looks like a little armadillo. And who might you be? Someone to help you out. Ah, you're here for my concept. Well, here it is in the flesh. I call it the Stone Mole. It secretes a fluid that eats through solid rock, giving the ability to burrow into even the hardest terrain. It can also toughen its skin by ingesting rock it is liquefied. Based upon those traits, I humbly request that it be given a good, strong name. Okay. You take that, move on, and we'll get back to your friend. Yeah, we're just knocking these quests off in a hurry. You brought the concepts I asked for? I have, yes. Very good. And did you ask for the provisional names? Well, we got one of them, but not the other. The Stone Mole and Notus 642. And the mole's creator requested that I have a more powerful sounding name? Some researchers do become quite attached to the creations, don't they? It may seem inconsequential, but the appropriate naming of concepts is of the utmost importance. Allow me to explain. Once it has been determined that a creation is beneficial to the star, we can proceed with registering the creator's design with the Bureau of the Architect. First, however, the approved concepts must receive their official names, and as a taxonomist, it is my task to bestow them. When naming, one must strive for elegance and simplicity, all the while taking care to adhere to existing conventions and avoid repetition. The more creations we name, the more difficult it becomes to maintain this high standard. It is a demanding job to be certain, but one which I am proud to do. For as long as this purpose guides me, I will fill this world with the most marvelous appellations I can imagine. Please, take this in exchange for completing your errand. So you're giving us experience 655 gil, plus some orange dye, or we can choose some brown dye. I like a good sunset. Let's go with this. And then we'll have to go up to get to the next... Oh, we don't even need to. You are right over here, Mr. Troubled Taxonomist. So let's go and speak with you to take on your quest entitled To Name a Tale. A troubled taxonomist is having second thoughts. Perfect timing, familiar. I have a favor to ask of you. It's my job to name the creations brought to us, but I can't seem to decide on one for this particular concept. It may be because I'm the one who's designed it. It is a species of plant which I intended as a gift for my love. A clear conflict of interest, unfortunately. My names are always fair and logical and perfectly suited to the creation, but this time I'm not so sure. I do have a name for it, but what if it's not suitable? What if it's too personal? I thought of discussing the matter with my associates, but my dilemma is far too embarrassing. When you ask if they think the name is appropriate in my stead, don't worry, I wouldn't expect you to work without recompense. Sure, this is the creation, a yellow pansy, and the name I have in mind is Mythos. Okay, gotta show it to a couple of people as we crash right into the aetherite crystal. Alright, Lampito, nice to meet you.
Yes, what is it?
We need your help. Name this.
My, what a pretty flower. And you said it was called Mythos. A fine name. Many flowers are named with a special feeling in mind, so going by what you've told me, this one is in good company.
Let's see how the other person feels about that. Incidentally enough, we're back to Glafera.
Ah, familiar. Do you need something?
How soon we forget me?
A flower! It's beautiful, and it smells so lovely. Is it for me?
Nope. We need your opinion on it.
Oh, you just want to know if the name is suitable, do you? Have you tried asking Achilles Hyperborea? No one knows as much about naming as them. Here's a guidebook on the subject. Take it with you and let your master decide what to do them from there.
Okay. I suppose we can do that. We're back. How did it go? What did everyone think of the name? Well, here's what they're giving you. And an explanation as well. I see. Well, that is good to know. I won't be needing this guidebook, of course, as I can't very well ask myself for my thoughts. Or perhaps I should. It wouldn't hurt to have some confidence in the work I do, after all. As I created this flower, I thought of my beloved, an artist, and the stories she seeks to tell through her plays. You actually have plays here? My hope is that, much like a myth or legend, her work is told and retold down through the ages, hence Mythos. I've decided. I'll keep the name and submit it to the Bureau of the Architect. Thank you for your help. You're quite welcome. So we'll take our experience and 655 gil. Alright, up we go. So 2 more people over here. Let's speak with Glaucon first, to take on his quest entitled Searching for Eidos. Yeah, they're a game developer. Glaucon is concerned about your aether levels. Let's find out why. Those are some low levels of aether what you have there. Even for a familiar, that must be awfully inconvenient. What say you assist me with an experiment that could help increase your reserves? Okay. I need one more ingredient before I can get it started. If you could get your hands on a bit of slime from an Eidos in the Force, that would be a great help. They use illusory magics to mimic the shape of nearby creatures, so it'll be tricky to find one, but not impossible. Keep your eyes peeled for anything acting out of place. Once you think you've located an Eidos, use this crystallized concept to dispel the illusion. Then it should be a relatively simple task to defeat the creature and obtain a nice heaping handful of gunk. But I'm dressed up in a fancy outfit! Oh, but be warned, if you use the crystal on anything else, it tends to react violently. Should you make a mistake, there's no shame in beating a hasty retreat. Okay, so this is like some old school levy quest from way back. Yeah, this is like from way back in the day. A suspicious Pegasus, huh? Well, let's see if this is the correct answer. Well, we can kill it if we want to. He did say we could beat a hasty retreat if we wanted, but you know what? I'd rather just do away with the thing. I mean, I'm not gonna get punished if I do this. I will say, though, it is giving quite a beating here. Whoa! Thankfully, we got it down. No experience gained, though. Which sucks. Alright. Let's get past the Minotaur first. And then we'll use this. I had the feeling that we're going to be using this on option 3. Nope, no need. Good. Avoiding doing anything unnecessary is just fine. Of course, when you're relying on RNG, it doesn't help all that much. And cut it up. And turn it into a puddle. Alright, back to Glaucon. Ah. Yeah, this has been quite a crazy ride we've been on so far. Back to Glaucon. Box so soon, and with the slime, I hope? Yep, here you go. If only every familiar were as useful as you. With this, I can make a potion to increase your ether production. All the other ingredients are in order. Hippogriff brain, a rhinoceros horn, and Orpheon entrails. What are you making? The concoction will supplement any natural deficiencies, relying on the chameleonic properties of the slime to generate ether compatible with your existing etheric signature. Clever, yes? Once this has been brewed for a bit, it'll be ready to drink. Oh, this is so exciting, I can hardly wait to see just how explosive the increase to your ether will be. Yeah, I think I hear my master calling. Yeah, please let me go. Oh, I meant to be of service, but it seems I've kept you from your other duties instead. My deepest apologies. Perhaps you can come back for the potion, but in the meantime, take this for your troubles. Yeah, 655 get all is much better than getting blown up. Much better than getting blown up. Alright, so since everyone thinks I'm a familiar, I'm definitely gonna have you take a liking to me. Let's speak with this familiar aficionado to take on his quest entitled Siren Flower. A familiar aficionado at Port Oikos is most interested in meeting you. A rather unusual familiar, aren't you? I haven't seen your concept on Fallout the Bureau of the Architect, and I've never come across anything like you in all my years of research. Well, let me get a little more detail. Your Asim's familiar? Well, that certainly explains it. Her creations are truly something else. I'm even more intrigued now. Do you mind if I observed you for a time? I'll even make it worth your while, of course. Fantastic. I can hardly wait to get started, but not here. The study I'd like to conduct requires we relocate to the rest of the ways. Please, come and join me when you're ready. Alright. Meanwhile, hey there, Baba. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us. And by us, I mean me. Alright. Thank you so much for coming. Now let's get straight to business. All you need to do is reach out and touch some Orpheus songflowers. They're pretty blooms, light blue in color, and they emit these, well, bubbles which they enthrall any overly curious creatures. Think of it as a defensive mechanism. It has no effect on snake beings such as myself, but I'm fascinated to know how it would affect you. Fear not, I'll be sure to intervene should you begin to fall under its spell. I would never leave a familiar to such a fate, and especially not a familiar created by Azim. Now I've created 3 flowers of varying sizes and potencies. We'll begin with the smallest and weakest. Oh, and I may be able to protect you from the flower itself, but if any nearby beasts are already under its influence, I'm afraid you'll have to be the one to protect me. Fighting never was my forte. Escort the familiar aficionado of the flower should you fail to defend him. Oh, okay. It's one of those quests. Yeah, I was thinking we're gonna protect you by you staying where you were. But clearly not. Watch out for the Hippo Surf, though. So we've got site number 1 in our sights. An undersized Orpheus Flower. And to no real surprise. You lost your charge, duty failed. There's a reason for that. Blame the damn Hippo Surf. Yeah, blame the damn Hippo Surf for that. Yeah, forced me to swing out and run away from it, and it caused my comrade to beat a hasty retreat. Now, shall we avoid an unnecessary confrontation this time? Much better. At least I hope so. Did I lose him again? What is with this guy? Dude, what are you doing? I'm right here. You scared or something? Yeah, this guy is scared out of his mind. Which is why I am now being forced to fail again! Yeah, pull out the Dragoon. Pull out the Dragoon. Get over here, you son of a bitch. Get over here right now. I was wanting to be nice. I was wanting to let you live. But you brought this on yourself, and so you leave me no choice but to kill you. Take that! Also, I blame you for being such a coward. Yeah. Da 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 da. Now let's touch this thing. You touch the flower, it doesn't seem to affect you. No reaction. Interesting. Let's try a more powerful one, shall we? Will it be defended by more feral opponents? Will you also continue to be slower than molasses? Yeah, you think this guy lives in New York. He thinks he's in stop-and-go traffic. Should we be surprised by this? Nope, it's old Dragoon all the time. Yeah, also, sir, you might want to back off. Why would you put your flowers in such dangerous places where there's so many feral enemies it's impossible to get to where you need to go without having to clear yourself a path? Yeah, your concept has failed already, I can tell at this point in time. Dragonfire Dive, followed by Stardiver, followed by you getting ripped in the face. And for the first time, unleash Whirlwind Thrusts! Ugh. Oh, and because they aren't done salting the wounds. And look where he is, in perfect line of fire. This guy has a penchant for wanting to get himself killed. Yeah, definitely the most annoying NPC in a quest we've seen in this expansion. And who knows, maybe ever. He's slow, he's cowardly, he easily draws enemies to himself. Yeah, he's all around a bad egg. You touch the flower, you don't feel any different. Still nothing. Well, let's see how you fell against an exceptionally large one. And by exceptionally large one, he means exceptionally large enemy packs. Yeah, pull yourself up. Because yeah, if we're gonna get to where we need to go, we have to kill everything! Full-fledged creation concept slaughter! Yeah, the final days before the final days are here! Anything that gets in my way must be slaughtered! Be vanquished and be gone! Yeah, if you finally mustered enough courage to move forward without having to hit stop and go traffic? Clearly not. Alright, Wormwind Thrust, go! Yeah, get it in there. As you just stand there and watch. On we go. More like on we know. Now get over here and take a look at your flower. Still nothing happens. So after wasting our time as much as we did. Incredible. Even a flower for this size has no effect on you whatsoever. I thought for sure you would be enthralled. Considering the sparse nature of your ether, it simply doesn't make sense. As it must possess some mastery which eludes me. In that case, start our experiment. I'll dissolve these blooms and meet you back at Point in Oikos. Yeah, and I expect to be well compensated for being forced to clear your path many times over. Back to the aficionado. Thank you for lending me your time, it was most enlightening. Not to mention perplexing. You have so little ether, yet something keeps you resistant to outside influence. Your physical constitution, perhaps? It's something to consider when creating familiars in the future, at least. I promised you a reward, didn't I? Here you go. Now, if you excuse me, I have some data analysis and concept planning to do. Yeah, 975 gil is not enough for all the things I had to kill just to get you to be satisfied with what you got. Or in this case, lack thereof. So ultimately, neither of us were satisfied with the result of that quest.